Welcome to our group's real-time systems project. From the beginning, we made a collective decision to pursue option 1, as we believed our prior experience in embedded systems would prove to be an advantage in this course. Option 1 involved utilizing a TI Launchpad and the free RTS library, both of which were introduced when the project was presented to us. As a group of 5, we set our expectations high, confident that our group size would enable us to form subgroups and efficiently complete the project. Initially, we planned to go through Chapter 1 together to establish a solid foundation in understanding the provided code, before branching out into separate groups to tackle Chapters 2 and 3. However, upon our first discussion, we quickly realized that the most effective way to make substantial progress was for the entire group to work together on Chapter 2, as both subgroups began to run into multiple obstacles. Together, we worked diligently to accomplish the goal we would have to change as we continued to move more and more into our project. Our focus went from completing all the chapters to getting Chapter 1 completed and Chapter 2 almost fully finished. I will now go ahead and talk about the labs we completed and how we completed them. The first lab involved downloading the Code Composer Studio software and then importing/compiling the given code. One struggle that came on early was the code would not compile. This is where reading the instructions in depth and not skimming come in handy. One vital step of this part is to download an older compiler. This is the only way the code would run. It took a matter of maybe 5 minutes before we were able to get past that struggle. After this was solved, building and flashing the code was no longer an issue. Once we all confirmed it was working, we would take screenshots of the terminal output for both EDF and RM. I did go ahead and zoom in quite a bit in our deliverable document, but I just wanted to show the screenshot of the terminal. The first one is for fixed priority, the second one is for EDF. The second lab does get more complicated, but it's here we're able to show off the code a little bit more. Overall, it seemed we could build off of the base code, and luckily after taking the time to understand what the base code actually does and following the lab manual, we could quickly see where certain things needed to get done. For example, using RM period, RM budget, RM priority, and VRM task, which is at the bottom of the code, it allows us to create 3 more tasks with different periods and budgets to create a full task list. The program can then be run and tested on a hypothetical list. This occurs for both the scheduled and non-scheduled tasks. The main difference between the non-scheduled tasks is that we need to identify the tick at which our response time exceeds the set deadline. Just a little more information in detail on the code. In this section, we set a priority list to list the lowest period as the highest priority. Scrolling down a little further into the code, we're able to see where VRM task 1 was defined. We are able to copy the VRM task 1 4 times while making sure to change the necessary components in each function, such as task identifiers to the corresponding task, to get Chapter 2 completed. Just kind of scrolling through the 4 tasks. I did realize I was only showing the RM code. I wanted to go ahead and show off the EDF code as well. It's pretty much a similar process. I did want to switch over back to the document real quick to just go ahead and show the screenshots of the output. Here's for the schedulable runtime. I once again am zoomed in to kind of show off the screenshots to make it more clear. And then here is the non-schedulable runtime. I would like to quickly mention for the non-schedulable runtime, you can kind of see when it comes to task 3, it kind of goes a little crazy and it's just not scheduling correctly as expected because it is not supposed to be schedulable, as you can see through all the screenshots. If we were to give a future group advice, it would be to set aside time to fully read through the manual and make sure to know what it is asking, as once again, it is what consumed most of our time with this project. If we had a little more time, I think we could have moved on to Lab 3, but in the end, we did learn a lot while working with the free ROTS, and it was a stressful but enlightening experience.